talk about NBA basketball, you think of Red Auerbach. Red, they ran a number up at the Boston Garden, had to make you feel real good. I thought they'd put a cigar on it instead of a number.
Well, you know, a lot of people said that, but I thought it'd be a little bit too much. But I was very pleased. I was very honored. It was one of those things that, you know, it's like getting in the Hall of Fame. You know, it's great.
It is. It is. Retired. Now, that's a bunch of malarkey. No way Red Auerbach will ever retire from this game.
Oh, well, I think you're right. I'm still the president of the team and supposedly a consultant. But I'm pretty active and I know what's going on. But I just, because I live in Washington, I don't want to see all the games like I used to. So I figure instead of going up for 41, I'll go up for about 20. I'll still do some scouting, help make some decisions, you know. So I'm still active.
Help make decisions, you'll make them. Listen, let's talk about the health of the league. We had a great attendance at the All-Star game. TV ratings are up. They've got the salary cap, which seems to have things in control. Is the league on an upswing?
Well, I think so. I really do. I think the best thing that happens for us is when the college teams are good. When the college teams are good and they're competitive, then they bring out these great stars like Michael Jordan, Olajuwon, or this year you got Ewing and a couple others. So that is like giving the NBA a transfusion every year. And as soon as things start to get a little bit, you know, complacent, so to speak, all these new stars come in, give them a shot in the arm. Look what Michael Jordan has done around the league.
Right.
Like right here today, it's a complete sellout. We sell out our own building, but here we are in Hartford, and he did it here too.
Well, you're speaking of Michael Jordan. Why would the NBA owners not get involved in split revenues like some of the other leagues?
Yeah. You know, all of a sudden, Chicago wants split revenue. Where were they all the years when they wouldn't draw? No, you see, it's a very difficult thing because all the teams have different operating expenses. For example, some teams could pay 25% rent, and some teams pay 3% rent. So it's not fair because you just can't do it. And I'd rather, anyway, be master of my own destiny. Now, we have suffered for many, many years with Larry Bird, with Cousy, Russell, and all, that we drew more on the road than we did at home. We never got any of that, and we're not kicking about it because you got to sell your own product in your own town.
You know, I like the NBA. They're kind of innovative. They were the first people really to go to the salary cap, and they went to the drug problem, right to the focus of it, and got in bed really with the players and said, hey, look, we've got to do something about this. But, you know, being a player, I have got a slight problem with John Lucas coming back into the league. I just don't understand that.
You know, it's a hard thing to talk about, and it's something, as a president of a ball club, you try to avoid because the NBA league makes the rules as far as that. But I want to get back to another important point, the salary cap. Years ago, when we had the ABA and we were fighting, you know, for salary,
yeah.
big salary.
I came out that time.
All of a sudden, everybody started laughing at me. All the baseball guys, they call me in, hey, you dummy, you guys in basketball are stupid, and the football guys are unbelievable. Then all of a sudden, it happened to them. Now they call me up and say, hey, what should I do? I said, take two and hit the right.
Let's talk about the Boston Celtics. Some people say you don't have enough depth, but if you'll look at the statistics, your bench is producing more than your opponent's bench.
Well, that's kind of a little bit fooling around.
Because of Kevin McHale, maybe, right?
McHale. But I'm going to tell you something. If you play every game as a separate entity, and don't worry what people say or what this guy says or this fan says, you play your own pace with your own team, play every game as a separate entity, and let tomorrow take care of itself. Things can happen. You can pick up a ball player or whatever, or some kid will develop. Meanwhile, if you can win with 6 men or you win with 7 men, win. Worry about tomorrow later. A lot of guys, they say, well, I got to play 10, 12 men. I got to develop these guys because I'll need them down the road. the heck with down the road. Now is when it counts.
What do you have to say about Michael Jordan?
Well, there's very little I can say that hasn't been said. I mean, he's just a superb athlete. But the most important thing of all, with his tremendous ability, he not only reads the court good, but he loves to play.
You can see it in his eyes.
You see it in his eyes. He is happy when he sees a crowd out there and he can perform. He's like Isaiah Thomas. Those two guys are really something.
I think the fans notice that too. Let me ask you one more question. If Red Auerbach hadn't been one of the all-time greats in the NBA, what would he have done?
Well, I think I would have stayed teaching school and coach on a collegiate level.
So it would have always been some form of teaching.
That's right.
And I think we learn from Red every time. Thank you very much for being with us, and we'll be back with second half action after these messages.